In Edo period Japan, there were people who were called those who are not human and were considered to be unclean. They were originally people who happened to be engaged in the slaughtering and leather industries in a Japan where killing was prohibited. However, during the Edo period, they were systematically classified as senmin, the lowest class. I will refrain from delving further into this matter here. These people were forced to carry out work at the execution grounds, a job no one else wanted. Their duties included overseeing and escorting criminals during public executions, assisting with and carrying out the sentences, monitoring and managing those subjected to the sawing punishment or displaying severed heads, and cleaning up afterward. The crucifixion punishments in Japan at the time involved piercing the victim multiple times with a spear after they were nailed to the cross. The execution by burning also involved lighting the fire, managing the intensity of the flames with a fan, and keeping watch over the decapitated heads to prevent mischief or scavenging by stray dogs, often requiring them to work in shifts over to nights. They were also tasked with holding down criminals who were to be beheaded, a job that carried significant psychological burdens. Those who performed such work were despised by the townspeople. On days when there were no executions, they would go into the streets to beg for alms, struggling to get by day to day. Outcast workers at the Suzugamori execution ground lived a similar life, struggling in such conditions. However, one of them, Heizo, eventually became a figure still revered by people to this day. Heizo and his two companions lived together in a small, shabby hut near the Suzugamori execution grounds. One day, when no executions were scheduled at Suzugamori, Heizo was begging as usual in Takanawa and happened to find a pouch filled with a large sum of money. Thinking that the owner must be troubled, Heizo went to the spot the next day. There, he saw a young samurai looking restless, searching frantically for something. Heizo called out to him and handed over the pouch. The samurai was extremely grateful. According to the samurai, he would have faced beheading if the pouch had not been found. The samurai offered to give Heizo a reward, but Heizo declined, saying that they should help each other in times of need. When Heizo returned to the shabby hut and told his companions the story, they struck him, angry that he had given up a chance to escape their harsh life by keeping the money. Perhaps due to a blow landing in the wrong place, Heizo died. After that, the two companions disappeared without a trace. Hearing the rumors, the young samurai built a Jizo statue to honor Heizo's spirit. This statue became known as the Heizo Jizo, and people continue to visit it, praying that their own children will grow up to be as honest and virtuous as Heizo. The Jizo on the right is that Heizo Jizo. During the Edo period, the age of the samurai, there were punishments that are unimaginable today. This video introduces the punishments used at that time. They have carried out countless beheadings. What is the surprising reason why he was able to make such a huge profit by performing the dirty job of being an executioner, which regular samurai would not engage in, as it was considered dishonorable? In the Tenmacho prison, prisoners had to endure various forms of torture every day, and murders between prisoners were commonplace. There was also an execution field on the premises of the prison, where decapitations were carried out. At the site, the bell that heralded the execution of a sentence, and the stone wall that used to house the prison still remain. Those who committed the most heinous crimes were carried by horse with their body restrained, and transported to Nihonbashi, the center of Edo. The terrible punishments practiced there. What did the criminals think as they crossed the Bridge of Tears and were transported to Suzugamori execution ground? At this location, there are remains of the well where the heads of decapitated criminals were washed, as well as the foundations used for burning at the stake and crucifixion. The executed bodies were thrown into a nearby temple, so this temple is also called throwing temple. A huge Jizo that has seen countless executions. This place has a different history than other execution site. This Jizo can be seen from the window of the train that carries many commuters towards the center of Tokyo every morning. Human bones are still often unearthed in this area during construction work. It is said that books on the sharpness of swords and books on medicine were completed due to the existence of this execution site. But what was going on at this place? People who were considered unclean and not human were forced to perform tasks such as preparing for the punishment, carrying out the execution, and cleaning up after the punishment. A look into the life of a man who worked at Suzugamori execution ground and became an object of people's faith. Executed in the Edo period commit. And what kind of punishment were they given? Explore their crimes and punishments.
Japanb provides information about Japan that is not well known. Thank you for watching until the end. We will be encouraged if you like and subscribe.